Hello, this is Mr. Doty, and I'm trying something new today. I'm showing you my face, scary as that is. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about sectioning, and so I'm going to kind of do a lecture, if you will. Um, Try something new. Hey, typically on the online classes, it seems like all you do is you kind of look at the book, you read a little bit, you look at a PowerPoint, might have some videos on how to do some things, but you really need to have some explanation on what I'm expecting, for you to turn in. So this is going to be a little video on how to do that, and hopefully it doesn't, turn into a 44-minute video. I don't think it will. I think I can do it pretty fast, but also cover what needs to be covered. So I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to be on the screen as far as me, but anyway, here I am, and we're going to go ahead and start. So today what I want to do is I want to talk to you about the third part in CAD 112. And this is Chapter 12, Sections, Breaks, Revolutions, and Conventional Breaks. And you're like, what the heck are those? Well, first of all, let's just talk about what we're going to do. So under here I have some instructions. Honestly, I don't have the right ones, so I need to fix those, but that's okay. Probably a good reason for me to have a video. Hey, you're always going to find things under teaching aids. Like I have a video on how to draw a countersink correctly, because some of your drawings, like this one right here, you have to do some counterbores, countersinks, things like that. And actually you have to do both on there. And then I also have the PowerPoint, which I've updated to the one that I'm going to go over right now. So I already have this open, but we'll come back to it in a minute. So as far as teaching aids, this video will show up down here, and you can watch it and hopefully learn something. Okay, so so we're in chapter 12 under assignments. So I have the handout for the assignments here, and I've actually already got it pulled up. And so basically what you're going to be doing is a section basically is us being able to cut into a part and show you, well, actually, really what it's for. For one, it's to show you what it looks like on the inside. Number two is you are not supposed to dimension to hidden lines, period. Whether it's a center line for a hidden circle, a hole, or the hidden lines of a hole, or anything that is hidden, feature, line. If you can't see it directly, don't dimension to it, period. Now, let's back up. Why do we have sections? So that we can be able to dimension those things that we can't get to in any other way. Well, there you go. So if you look at this one is going to be a full section, and it's pretty simple. You're going to have your circular view over here or over on the right. It doesn't matter. The thing that I want you to get in your brain, and I don't know why some of the examples aren't set up this way, because your paper is set up in landscape mode. And you also have A, B, C, and D size, 4. You have 4 different sizes of paper in which to get this part, whatever it is, to fit. Now, I'm expecting you to have your dimension style set up correctly. I'm expecting you to have your text style set up correctly, and your multi-leaders, as well as your layers, and I expect you to use layers. Now, the other question would be is, oh, but I'm going to be using SolidWorks, or I'm going to be using Inventor. Well, then you better make your template, or make a template that looks like the ones that I've provided for AutoCAD, because it needs to be apples and apples. And if you're doing an Inventor, do not send me their AutoCAD drawing. Export it out. Because when you send me their version of a drawing file from Inventor, it comes up in AutoCAD and it looks really awful. So, just saying. So, anyway, Moving along, so whatever software you're using, hopefully, honestly, just use AutoCAD, really, because for this, now, I'm going to go over later on in a different video on how you can do some SolidWorks or Inventor, and that's fine. But I'm covering AutoCAD at this point in time as far as talking about what we're doing. And when you take CAD 200, you're going to do some sectioning similar to this, so it kind of reinforces it. I'm just going to kind of expand on it and show you some other stuff too. But anyway, in this video, we're just going to go over this. So this is full section. Now, this one here, yes, it's sitting like this, but I want you, well, the reason I was talking about the paper size and the paper orientation is all of your pages are set up landscape, which means the long dimension is running X, horizontally. Well, that means that your view should be laid out horizontally. A section view or section drawing typically has a front and a side view, unless it's another variation where you're doing a broken out section or something else. But typically, when you're doing a section drawing, you're going to have the section view, and then you're going to have a front view, let's say. So the round view in this case, on this one, this would be turned sideways so that I would be able to put my section view over here to the side of it. And typically people do a front and a right side view because it's a right-handed world. But hey, if it's on the left-hand side, that's fine. Sometimes, actually, there's some later on where we're going to have to do something different. Now, this one, there isn't any reason why you can't, well, let me just say this. This right here, they want you to do a half section, which is just taking a quarter of it out. And you're like, what are you talking about? We'll get to it, promise. But I'm not exactly sure that you might have to do a rear. See, here's the whole thing. Is you're supposed to do the section view to help keep you from having to make extra views. I'm not sure how you're supposed to dimension this because you can't catch both lines to do a diameter, right? So other than showing the shape of that, I'm not sure that it's real helpful on the section. But this does show how this is all laid out. And since it's a symmetrical part, it's going to work that way. So, I mean, that is a, typically a round part, you can do a half section, which takes a fourth of the part away. This one is going to be, now, I don't like this one because similar option here is you've got this little undercut here, which they've got it dimensioned from here to here, but is that going to help the person who's making the part? No. They almost need a diameter to go off of so they can measure how far out, or if they're using a boring tool so that they can kind of go on the inside, and it's kind of like a it's not an exact straight cutter, it's kind of has an angle on it, or you can set it to where it goes in and goes into the side so that you can make that little indention right there. Well, I don't know, I guess you could just put that distance right there. I'll have to talk to a machinist and say, hey, which is the better way to do this? So if I was trying to do the diameter of it, this half half section is not going to work very well for me, and I just assume do a full section. Hopefully, I think all of the dimensions on this one are okay. Anyway, if you run into any of these where the dimensions don't make sense, adjust it. Let me know so that we can look at it. I can look at it and you can tell me what you think. And, like I said, CAD solves problems. We'll figure it out. And I'll make a note. I'll put it on the assignment so that in the future, everybody can go, oh, yeah, we need to adjust that. Or I can put a note on the assignment sheet here. Okay, so moving along, I guess if you do, if we dimension this, just this distance right here, then you can do a half section. So we'll try that and we'll go from there. I'll update the video if I need to. Okay, so this is an offset section, and even though it's drawn like this, your view is going to be like so, and then your section is going to be over here to the right of it, okay? And then this one is a revolved section. It's also going to be round like here, and then your view is going to be sitting over here. You'll notice that the cutting plane line, the arrows are facing away from the actual section view. And sure, some of this terminology I'm going to hit on here in a minute. You're probably like, why are you doing the assignments first? I'm just trying to show you what you have to do. All right, so now this one's going to have something special. This one, technically, you could do what we call an auxiliary view. And so we're not going to do a view down here at the bottom, okay? Because that would make it a portrait type. It just won't look right on the screen or on our sheets. So what I recommend that we do is we're going to do a removed view, if you will, and we're going to put a viewing plane line up here that is showing kind of like a camera view, so to speak, of where we're looking, and then we'll put our view, our round view, over here. So it's not going to be a projected view per se. It's going to be an alternate view. And so it's a little bit different. Now this one does a broken out section, and I've got some, we're going to go over that too. You don't have to break it down all the way to here. Really, you just need to come down a little bit and do your short break line over. Okay, now this critter right here is fun. I have an example that I will make sure is uploaded that gives you an idea of what it looks like. Again, please do it horizontally where you have a circular view and then a sectioned view. Okay, now this one you're going to do a couple of different things. This oval section right here, this ellipse, that is going to be I believe it's called a revolved section. Double check. I get my names mixed up sometimes. But basically what you do, it's like you took and cut it and flipped it right on an axis right there on the part. So, and there's a couple of different ways you can do it, with or without a break, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But you're also going to have, basically you'll do a full section of it, and then on this front view here, you'll do your revolved section. So it's kind of a complicated or a complex, not complicated, but a complex design problem. And when you draw this, try to make a center line between the hub and the ring out here, and just do the best you can to get that S, kind of that little S curve there, and then you would offset it. And if you were drawing it in a 3D modeler, you would just find the center line as well, and then you'd have to make some planes, and so they're a little bit more complicated on that one. But you could do a oh, let's see, not a loft, but a I'll think of it in a minute. But anyway, you'd have a path and you'd follow it, and you'd have a shape, and there you go. I always forget that one. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll remind myself in a minute. I'm going to have an example of this as well. This is going to be on a different video because I want you to see how you can do a detail view at a different scale using viewports. I mentioned that in one of my other videos on setting up the template. That'll be located there. I may put it in a couple of different spots just so that you have it. Alright, and this one's going to have, it's going to be sideways. It's just the way I had to put it on the sheet here. But it'll be horizontal, and you've got a right side view and a left side view, plus you're going to have these three sections here that you're going to put, somewhere over here. Try to make it organized and make it logical, and it makes sense, okay? Logical. That's what we're going to shoot for. All right, moving along. Now this one is what usually kicks people's butts. They don't have a clip. In the book, or at least it better be in the book, I'll double check, and if not, I'll find another option and show you how to do it. Maybe I need to do a video on how to do conventional brakes, but there is a proper way to show a brake, because when you draw a pipe, you don't need to draw the whole thing. You just need to draw the end of it and the end of it, and if there's a feature over here, you draw that much, but then you can leave out a bunch of it and just shorten it up so it doesn't take up a big chunk of a piece of paper just for this long object that's the same. So what we can do is we can cut it out, and then we can do a broken dimension. That's not what it's called, but anyway. But you can do a dimension where it actually has the brake line on it, showing you that it's really longer than you're showing. Okay. But anyway, that's an S brake, or a conventional brake, and there's a couple of different ways you can do it with solid or pipe type round objects, and I will probably end up making a video that covers that. All right, and that's the end of the assignments.